upstairs.
Did you get my message?
It came off the side already.
Oh, yeah, here. Well, I was waiting for Tim. Geez, guys, hold on a minute. I'm waiting for Tim to get here.
Almost here.
You're okay. Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Under Sheriff, do you want to lead us in the pledge? Yeah, 5:30.
Okay. I pledge
allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Jenny
Here.
Roger Mayhew,
Yes.
Charles Wiltie,
Here.
Mark Serbrook,
Present.
Craig Scott.
Here.
Approval of the agenda. Any additions or corrections?
I'll make a motion to accept.
I,
Go ahead.
in addition to the agenda, if we could please, under after public comment, I would like to add a closed session for the purpose of discussion of contract negotiations.
So 17 after general public comment, the final one,
Then we would have adjournment would be moved to 18.
closed session, and then adjournment will be 18. And no business after, correct?
No, that's not true. There may well be business after.
Okay, that's what I'm checking with. Any other additions or corrections?
Just one, I got a question for Tim. I was speaking with Commissioner Serbrook regarding that open position that we had talked about with
CMH.
Well, that's.
well Vance. I think there's something we probably should figure out what direction we're gonna head with that, because I'm willing to take that position.
Okay, well, we can put that on the agenda and we can talk it through.
That would be under old business, correct?
The under,
Yes.
yes.
Where are we at here? Unfinished business.
Unfinished.
So let's put a subtitle A there, Well Vance. Is that good?
Sounds good.
Any other additions or corrections?
Motion approved with additions.
Support.
Motion from Commissioner Scott, support from Commissioner Serbrook. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3, declarations of conflicts of interest. Any commissioners,
I
Commissioner?
have none.
None.
Review of minutes. We have February 13th, 2025 regular meeting minutes.
I've reviewed the minutes, make a motion, we approve them.
Motion from Commissioner Wiltie,
Support.
support from Commissioner Scott. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Motion carries. Item 4B, February 1, 2025 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. I had something I wanted to add to that. Yeah, I guess. Anybody want to?
I'll make a motion.
Support.
Motion from Commissioner Scott, support from Commissioner Mayhew. Discussion. I wanted to add something. It said under Commissioner comments, Commissioner David commented on poor practice of the board. I wanted a little more specific there. Poor practice of the board related to, not sure how I wanted to word this, but reoccurring, pardon me? Oh, what were you gonna say, Commissioner?
Individual subject or.
Yeah, related to voicing concerns related to commissioners, disappointment in commissioners voting. I just wanted a little more specific there versus that's a pretty generalized statement, which I understand. I just wanted more of what it was directly related to. What I jotted down on a piece of paper is voicing disappointment in how other board members are choosing to vote. Any further discussion? No? Do I need to, with that addition, do we need to add something else or can we just?
So what you would do is have a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Anybody?
I will make that motion. I'll support.
Again, Commissioner Serbrook, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4C, February 20th, 25 closed session meeting minutes. Those were in front of us. I'm just taking a look at those now, so just give me a second, please. Someone like to entertain a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion Commissioner Serbrook, support from Commissioner Mayhew. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We gotta make sure those make their way back to the clerk. 5, public comment and agenda item manners only. Any public comment in the room? Any public comment on the phone? Item 6, Ogemaw Heights FFA Agricultural Issues Team Presentation. Hi, guys. Welcome. You guys want to get set up?
What?
Roger, do I have your closed minutes?
You're still sitting right here, I
Your
think.
closed session meeting minutes. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take a seat in the audience, guys.
Okay, your presentation up here.
Absolutely.
Right in.
They typically.
That's Rogers, so I don't.
Anytime I'm gonna try to figure this out.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with it either, so I just gave him mine. Awesome. Here you got no rule? Right.
Afternoon, honorable judges, Madam Timekeeper, fellow FFA members and guests. My name is Brianna Tierney, and I am a member of the Ogemaw Heights FFA Agricultural Issues Team. My fellow team members are Raina Illig, Logan Wengler, Katie Wengler, Dr. Cardis, Grant Zettel, and Izzy Provost. Our agricultural issue this year is: should the past and present farming generations encourage the next generation to farm or not to farm? Representing the pro side of our argument will be Logan Wengler, playing the part of the past generation farmer, and Tucker Cardis, playing the part of the next generation farmer. Representing the con side of our argument will be Raina Illig, playing the part of the present day farmer, and Grant Zettel, who will be playing the part of a local real estate land developer. Katie Wengler will be playing the part of the restaurant's waitress, and Izzy Provost will be playing the part of the restaurant's owner. I myself will be playing the part of a financial officer with Greenstone Farm Credit Services.
As many of you probably already heard, Michigan, along with the entire country, is experiencing a growing debate over to farm or not to farm. Many wonder what will be the fate of our current farming sector. There seems to be a lot of what-ifs. Over the past few years, many sectors of our agriculture community have been struggling from major financial difficulties. And while some fail to realize the importance of agriculture in this great country, others are struggling with all their might to hold on to what has your family for many generations. So we thought we'd give you a little insight on what we believe is the importance of farming and what part agriculture plays in our state, along with our country's economy's very existence.
Before we begin our skit, we'd like to give you some insight to farming.
The average age of a farmer tending to the land in the United States is 58.1 years old, and currently 1/3 or 40% of the current farming population is already over the age of 65. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, many of these farmers are already past the age of retirement, and officials worry the younger generation aren't picking up, the older ones should be leaving off.
There's currently 45,581 farms left in Michigan. That's a decline of just 2,060 farms in just 7 years compared to the 2017 census. Michigan's farmland totals approximately 9.5 million acres. There's currently 1.89 million farms in the US, which is down 7.7% from 2.4 million farms in 2017. Michigan is one of the most agriculturally diverse states in the nation. The state's farming industry is a critical economic drive, providing food and fiber to consumers and supporting a dynamic food and agriculture industry. Its diverse commodity mix is made up of 60% crops and 40% livestock, according to the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development.
Now you might ask, what is the true definition of a farm? Well, according to the United States Census, it defines a farm as any establishment which produced and sold, or normally would have produced and sold, $1,000 worth of agricultural products in 1 year's time. According to the United States Census, here in Michigan, 92% of farms are owned by families or individuals, and currently only 6.7% of them are corporately owned.
Currently, Michigan's food and agricultural industry, such as food processors and other related businesses, employ 923,000 people here in Michigan. This accounts for approximately 22% of the state's total workforce. Michigan is home to 2,000 licensed food processors, which is generating nearly 130,000 jobs for people here in Michigan. In 2023, the state's food processors generated nearly $25 billion in economic activity, ranking Michigan 19th in the nation for food processing. Annually, Michigan's food and agricultural industry contributes $100 billion to our state's economy annually.
Currently, Michigan produces more than 300 commodities, making us the state with the second most diverse agricultural industry in the nation, coming in just behind California. Michigan exports about 1/3 of the agricultural commodities, generating nearly $2.7 billion annually. 40% of all Michigan's exports go directly to Canada, which is our #1 export market, followed by Mexico, Japan, and China. The current U.S. population is approximately 346 million, and less than 1% of that claims farming as their occupation, and only 2% claim to actively live on farms. Of the 1% that claim farming as their occupation, only 43% of those farmers claim farming as their principal occupation. Currently, 35,000 Michiganders list farming as their principal occupation, with an additional 52,719 working part-time on farms while maintaining off-the-farm jobs as well. The majority of principal operators of Michigan farms are male. However, 17,767 farms list a female as their principal operator. There are currently 1.89 million farms here in the United States. That might sound like a lot, but when you take into consideration that in the year 1938, we had a total of 6.8 million farms. That means in 86 years, we have lost a whopping 4.9 million farms. Do the math, and it doesn't take long to figure out that in only 86 short years, we have lost more than 2/3 or 62% of this country's agricultural opportunities. Katie, are you ready for another day here in paradise?
Absolutely. But this is what paradise really looks like. That's what I keep telling myself anyways.
Morning, folks. You regular this morning, or would you prefer the bar?
Our regular, please?
Don't look at me, Dad. You know you want the table. You're so predictable. You know you don't like change.
Not true. I think if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Gramps, that's what you always say.
Good morning, folks. You regular?
Yep.
Speak for yourself. I'd like raspberry today, please.
2 coffees, black, a milk, 2 slices of apple pie, and a slice of raspberry. Coming up. gonna be these restaurant. Would you like to table today or would you eat through the bar?
The bar, please.
I'd like table.
No problem. Have a seat at the bar and we can follow you to the table.
Why you decide what you'd like?
I'll have a coffee, please.
One coffee, one else. I'll be right with you. Here you go, folks. Enjoy.
Thanks.
Here's the menu. Let me get started with you this morning.
Bottle of water, please.
One bottle of water coming up.
Do you know if the produce used in your salads is locally grown organic produce or is it commercially grown?
We do offer some organically grown produce, but it does cost more.
Yeah, unfortunately, these food brands are keeping all of us in the restaurant business on our toes, and they seem to come at a cost. So in order to supply what our customers want, I have to keep raising my prices.
Well, at least you're lucky enough to be able to raise your prices in order to keep your head above water.
What do you mean?
Well, while food prices have gone up substantially in supermarkets, the actual price paid to farmers has somehow been left out of the equation. Although private manufacturers can include all their costs plus make a fair profit, government boards often set prices for what farmers receive for their products. Farmers are unable to set these prices regardless of production costs.
Wow, that doesn't seem right.
That's just farming. You have to take good with the bad.
Doesn't mean I have to like it. And I just heard the United States Bureau of Labor projected that farmers will have the largest amount of job loss out of any other occupation this year.
Just one more question. Do you know if the chicken you use comes from free-ranging chickens or is it from those cage factory farm chickens?
Then their chicken must be what you call free ranging. Cause they got here this morning, I'm pretty sure I saw Crawler cook chasing around the backyard. They get more free range than that, Sonny.
That's a good one, Gramps.
Don't encourage him. Dad, can you be serious? We have to figure out what we're gonna do with the farm.
At my age, the past looking a lot better than the future. I already got one foot in the grave and another in a banana peel.
That's all I ever wanted to do was farm. I wanna continue what you and Gramps have already worked so hard for.
With the way the dairy industry is right now, what kind of future are you going to have with a small scale farm like ours, sucker? I keep telling you, you need to go to college and get a degree with something you can make a good living at.
And I keep telling you, I wanna go into dairy or farm management.
College is expensive, no matter what the degree.
I'm sorry, but I couldn't help but overhear your conversation. My name is Brianna Tierney and I work with Greenstone Farm Credit Services. And a lot of my clients are or were dairy farmers, so I do understand your frustrations. I heard you mention about repaying student loans. Well, I don't know if you've heard about it, but it just so happens that the US Congress is considering a bill that would add farmers to the list of occupations that may qualify them for a federal program that forgives student loans for service workers like teachers and police officers.
I did read something about that.
Well, that might help with student loans, but then what? The problem is in order for the next generation to stay on the farm has to expand in order to support more families that are going to be depending on it for their livelihood. This is where a lot of farms have gotten into financial problems just like us. You start implementing all these improvements to expand and make things a little easier for the next generation, and you're borrowing money to do so, then bam, milk and commodity prices drop to what we were making back in 2009. Now what do?
Things will get better. We just have to write it out. It's estimated that by 2050, there'll be more than 9 billion people living on this planet. And our food production will increase roughly 70% in order to feed that many people. And the one thing I do know is that people always have to eat.
Well, I couldn't charge my customers what I charged back in 2009 and still make my restaurant even come close to making a profit.
Well, there are programs available to help young farmers get started in agriculture. Greenstone Farm Credit works with the Farm Service Agency on a joint loan in certain cases called Young Farmer Loans. That might be an option worth looking into.
I'm here to tell you, as a local real estate developer, you people are sitting on a gold mine. Right now, farmland in Michigan is at an all-time high. Premium land is selling for $7,000 to $8,000 an acre. Depending on what you have and where it's located, leasing for solar farming could also be an option. You'd probably get even more than that.
Don't call it farming. Solar's not farming in my book.
Sonny, you gotta remember one thing.
What's that?
They're not making any more land. So when it's gone, it's gone.
I know it's tough right now in many sectors of agriculture. For many of our clients, we're having to extend loan terms, increase operating loan amounts, and even write new loans for some. There's a lot of uncertainty for sure in the next coming months with planning for planting season.
As soon as you sell off a piece of your land, there's either gonna be a subdivision next year or some big corporation's gonna come in and buy it up.
My grandparents own a small farm, around 200 acres, and they're getting up there in age. So they decided to sell most of their livestock. Now what they do is they rent their land out to their neighbor. That way who owns the land now anyways?
Well, we're coming to the end of our time here, so before we conclude tonight, we'd like to take a minute to review some key points addressed here.
Pro. This is his family's farming legacy and has been for many generations. Many where that the smaller farms sell or are pushed out by the much larger farms, then there only be a few huge farms controlling all aspects of agriculture.
Con, the current land value is at an all-time high. Farmland is at a premium. In Michigan, farmland is selling at an average of 7,000 to 8,000 an acre.
Bro, agriculture is the second largest industry in Michigan and is still growing. It has increased 60% over the last decade.
Con, farming unfortunately has one of the highest suicide rates compared to any other occupation.
Pro, there are programs available to help young farmers pursue this field of employment. Greenstone Farm Credit works with the Farm Service Agency on a joint loan called Young Farmer Loan, and in some states, student loans are being forgiven.
Like many small-scale businesses, family farms are not of a scale where the assets and equity can provide a retirement package for the owner. In many cases, in order for the farmer to retire, he or she has no other option but to sell.
Bro, we have lost 4.9 million farms since 1938. Do we really afford to lose any more? This will inevitably cause a food shortage for a world whose population is expected to exceed 9.7 billion by the year 2050.
Con, people in the farming industry are steadily dealing with increased regulations. Everything from EPA, non-GMOs, to antibiotic regulations, along with animal welfare groups.
Bro, 1 in 5 kids already live in a food insecure household, according to NoKidHungry.org. So with fewer farmers, this problem will only get worse.
Con, many worry. How long can many sectors of farming hold on? For years, many sectors of farming have been suffering financial hardship.
So should the past and present generation encourage the next generation to farm or not to farm? In case you haven't noticed in recent years, the agriculture community has gotten a bad rep as the anti-agricultural activists are leading the public to believe that the industry is made up of uncaring, insensitive, heartless beings. Farmers and other agriculture workers are fighting an uphill battle. Unfortunately, I fear after countless hours of sweat equity as labor love, the family farm my dad, grandfather, and great-grandfather knew and worked so hard to attain is slowly slipping away. We must remember, this is not just a job for these farmers, it's a part of their very soul. It's what runs through their veins. Many have looked into their parents' eyes and promised to carry on the family legacy, while others ask, is it fair to ask the next generation to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars into a business that requires them to work 12 to 16-hour days throughout most of the year? With returns of what a farmer's wage would have been 30 years ago, it may depend on where your priorities lie as to which side you're going to take. But we must remember, there is not a one-size-fits-all solution to this problem like so many would like you to believe. As Dwight D. Eisenhower once said, farming looks mighty easy when your plow is a pencil and you're 1,000 miles from a cornfield. So I ask, in honor of the past, present, and hopefully future generations of farmers, if you have food to eat, clothes on your back, and a roof over your head, thank a farmer.
Madam Timekeeper, this now concludes our presentation.
Honorable judges, we are ready to entertain any questions you may have for us.
I don't have any questions, but you guys did a great job.
Thank you.
I grew up in the Thumb and I was in FFA for 4 years. Created a lot of close friendships and it helped me as I got older and talking with people. So you guys are doing great. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
What you guys have had in competition?
We're moving on to states.
When is that?
Next week?
We're going to the semifinals for states, and if we make first or second and semifinals, we go into the final.
I'll go back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You just sent me a jacket.
Now I know what I'm making me to worry about.
Remembering our stuff.
God, I don't know why we're there.
Claims on that. So leave this with me. I will get it down tomorrow.
Still want my chocolate peanut butter cake.
I think this one's his.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It is. Okay.
I gave him mine so he could, while you were working on it.
Ready, guys?
This is just hooked from the internet right now. Just get back and get.
Thanks.
Never mind.
There, I'll trade you.
Really.
All right. Oh, no. Oh, he went somewhere. There you go.
All right, guys, we're gonna continue as they continue to tear down. You're okay?
Hmm?
You hear me okay?
Yeah, but I don't know if you, it's.
Yeah.
Phone, I can't get my hearing aids turned on.
Tap me if you can't. Item 7, correspondence, like there were none on our iPads. Item 8, consent agenda. Are you guys okay combining these?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Fine.
We have item 8A, resolution to authorize a Homeland Security Grant Program expenditure for auxiliary communications equipment. Item 8B, resolution to authorize a Homeland Security Grant Program expenditure for handheld GPS equipment. And item 8C, resolution to accept a proposal for Sheriff's Office partition. Those were all covered pretty well in the committee of the whole last week.
I'll make a motion to pass the consent agenda, all 3 items.
Support.
Motion from Commissioner Scott, support from Commissioner Serbuk. Clerk, did you have something?
Nope, that's what I want. I didn't know if you made the motion and he seconded it, or if you were having an actual. I make a motion.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, because there is funding involved there.
Roger Mayhew,
Yes.
Charles Wiltie,
Yes.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Jenny David.
Yes. Item 9, new business, 9A, bid opening medical examiner RFP. Tim?
We received 2 proposals. This is to take on the role of the county's medical examiner effective on April 16th or sooner. Just by way of setting this up, the contract that we had with the Michigan Institute of Science and Forensic Medicine, the total cost for the remainder of that contract ranged from this year at $91,876 to by 2028, it would have been $102,344. So I'll give you some foundation for when we open these and look at these pricing, give you an idea of where we stay. So the first bid came from the Mid-Michigan Medical Examiner Group. It was received yesterday at 6:28 a.m. Deadline to receive these was 11 a.m. So both of these came in well ahead of that deadline. Background on Mid-Michigan Medical Examiner Group, they have, looks like roughly 10 counties. See that shape of Michigan down the path there, but give you the idea of what counties they currently serve. The tier of counties to our north, Crawford, Oscoda, Alcona are among their clients, so they're already in our neighborhood. We'll get all of this information to you before the meeting next week so that you have all of the background. All right, here we go. All right, this one's going to take some arithmetic to get to the bottom line. The base bid for the medical examiner services is $27,917. Scene investigation, toxicology and transport at additional $44,333, and cremation permits $7,025. So their total all inclusive $96,000. I will get into this and look at the summary because we asked for a multi-year bid. It looks like they would increase their price by 4% each year. So I'll get to the sorting of that and get you a summary page ahead of time. Second bid came from the Western Michigan University School of Medicine. I received at 9:03 a.m. yesterday. We have a total bid of $145,000 with 3% increase each year after the first year. So what will happen next is both of these respondents, as anybody else who had received one of these, was advised to reserve next Thursday at 5:30 to come here to meet you, to interview, to explain their proposals. What I'll do is get with both of them, schedule whichever time they want. There'll only be 2 slots. We'll put it right under the appointments that we normally have scheduled on committee of the whole. And you'll be able to talk directly with these, both of these firms. So if you have any questions that you'll be able to ask them directly. They are going to be asked to make a presentation first to summarize their proposal, but then ready to accept any questions from the board. We can talk about this at committee of the whole, and you could be ready to award a contract at the next regular meeting. So in 2 weeks, we could be off and running. Any questions on that process?
No question.
Did Western Michigan have what counties they covered? Did they have a similar map there?
Let's see if I can find it again. I don't know if they had a map.
Do they cover any counties near us?
The only one that sticks out in my mind that I saw with Leo, that's up by Traverse City.
Commissioner Wiltie?
Nice list of them. I just saw it. I do this, go to their table of contents.
That's okay. Commissioner Wiltie?
When you showed us the map for the mid-Michigan,
Mhm.
is Aranet County?
No,
Cause I know we had gotten some assistance from Aranet County. We never got a bid from medical.
they were sent an RFP and asked to respond, but we didn't get a reply. I know I saw it.
We'll go into more detail
Okay.
next week. What are we currently paying? I know you stated at the beginning of that. I just,
For this year, it was 91,876, and that was scheduled to increase to a maximum of 102,344 in 2028.
oh, so this is gonna, yeah, either way, our cost is going up. So, okay.
I have one more question.
Go ahead.
Tim, do you know, are there any counties that do this in-house? Where they would have, like contract with maybe a hospital and some professionals and kind of hybrid it all together?
I can't think of any off the top of my head. The reason for this is in 2013, the statute was amended in a way that forced counties to contract with organizations like these or directly with, in Ingham County's case, they directly contracted with Sparrow Hospital to perform that function. But they seriously upgraded the qualifications in 2013, and that forced most of the counties to do something like that. I can't think of any that do hire a doctor, for instance, to fill that role anymore. It's not to say there aren't maybe some in the UP. It'd be a very small county that would do that. The balance are generally going with organizations like one of these two. I was able, when we did issued the RFP, to get to the Medical Examiners Association webpage and identified some of the main players. And most of them were hospital-based. There is Genesee County, for instance. I think they were based out of Hurley. In Bay County, I'm not sure which hospital they're based out of, but that individual also serves Aranac and some of the other counties in the greater Bay City area. So there are, I'm going to say maybe 6 or 7 total in the state right now that do that. So I guess the long-winded way of answering your question, I don't know of any that are contracting with a single doctor or even have somebody in-house anymore that does this.
Any further questions, comments? I think Mid-Michigan, the one that you got the bid from, partners with My Michigan, but one of them partner with My Michigan.
Yeah. They also right now are serving, it's not on their map, serving Gladwin County in the interim. So again, they're really very well present in our area.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Item 9, claims. We have claims of $149,151.45, 45 cents.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
Motion from Commissioner Scott,
I will support.
support from Commissioner Serbrook. You guys have the floor.
It really wasn't a really big cycle this time around. Indigent council being $30,000 plus, like usual, was probably the high number this time. So, oh, and then circuit court, we had some, we had the regular general services.
Central services
Central.
quarterly, that was 44, 624, 40.
The thing that stood out there was it was first quarter, and here we're at the end of the second month of the second quarter, so I'm not sure what the delay was, but it seems like a delay. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
Anything, Commissioner Serbrook?
No, the only other thing that, and again, it's just the normal, we just kind of hit the highlights of the expensive ones, under probate, the childcare thing. Partners in Change was $12,000, which is running about normal, I think, for Partners in Change, so. Again, my question on the, I shouldn't say question, the central services, as Commissioner Scott stated, that bill was for the first quarter, and again, it's just the timeliness of it. I don't know if that's the norm anymore, that we're getting those, 6 weeks after the quarter closes, or?
Did we ask?
Let me look into that.
No, I didn't. I mean, it
This could have been a one-off too. I don't know what
Yeah,
the historical.
could have been a couple days off the cycle, and then.
Right, exactly.
First, the last cycle, however, I don't know.
Good.
No, we didn't ask anybody.
Any further questions, comments? Roll call vote?
Charles Wiltie,
Yes.
Mark Serbrook,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Jenny David,
Yes,
Roger Mayhew.
Yes.
Did you need that number?
I said it.
Oh, you did. Okay, thank you.
Unfinished business. A, we have Well Vance. Wants to take the floor on that? Tim?
Yeah, I can dive into this. There was a question after one of our prior meetings about who would be serving in that position. And right now, you had already, I think I relayed this earlier, Commissioner Wiltsey had volunteered to serve that role on the Well Vance board along with Commissioner Serbrook. In speaking with Diane Peltz, the CEO, she was absolutely thrilled to have two commissioners from the county. Said that would not cause any problem with their bylaws and how they operate. We do have two non-commissioners already on that board, Gary Clagging and Mark, help me.
Rose Walsh.
Okay, I was going to say the other one. So Rose Walsh, who are on there. So with Commissioner Wiltsey, that would be the full complement of seats for Ogemaw County. And I forget exactly how they're broken up, but there's by statute, each of the counties they serve gets a certain number of seats on that board as representative. So these are our four. At this stage, really isn't anything more you need to do unless somebody wanted to, change their commitment on the board, but that's where things stand.
For some reason, I think I missed that meeting where the original individual that had applied, there was some conflict there. I thought for some reason Commissioner or Brenda Simmons, I guess no longer commissioner. I don't know if I got an email or a notice or something. I thought she showed interest.
He expressed interest, but we had already at the organizational meeting named Commissioner Serbrook and Wiltsey.
Okay.
So we don't have to do anything,
Okay,
but it's good to know she's there and ready if there's need.
okay, I must have had a misunderstanding there. I don't know where that came from. Okay, if you don't need anything, I guess.
I think what they're looking for is a letter from the county saying, this is our appointments. I think they need something officially from the county to say, we have appointed this individual to the board, because we just had a renewal of somebody, and they had because they're set terms, they expire at certain times, and things like that, so.
And
You can touch base with Diane.
yeah, I'll do that. Made a note. Come to think about it, I never did officially say this is what we did. We talked about. it,
Right.
Said this is what we were thinking. We do need to, I think it's in March, we'll have to do a reappointment because both of those seats expired. But that become a formality at that point. But I will touch base with Diane and just make sure that that's solid.
Okay. Item 11, Administrative Controllers Report.
Okay. Let's start off with sending around a signature page to the 911 plan. Jesse Lowell got a hold of me last week and said the state got back with her about their plan and they would like the commissioner's signatures on the signature page. So I'm going to pass this down and just sign where your name is, with the exception of Commissioner Serbrook. Because you weren't on the board then, I will track down our former Commissioner Simmons and have her sign. If you would, date June 27th, 2024, when you sign it. That's the date that you passed the resolution to approve the plan. And I've got a note on there to, you forget that, sign off. Second item, for your information, you may have been hearing in the news about this new sick leave statute that was passed last week by the state. It seems to be a moving target, but our county attorney has provided a draft policy that will be on the agenda next week for consideration, and that policy will simply reflect what the statute requires of us. And this is primarily directed at our part-time employees. Our full-time employees already get sick time, but our part-timers don't necessarily do that. So there is a formula now, a certain number of hours per hour's work that need to be put into a bank. And we'll have that detailed in it. Like I said, it's a moving target. So even the draft policy that you receive early next week might change before we actually talk about it. That is the conclusion to my report. I'm stalling for about another 5 minutes for the county attorney to get on. He's due to be about a 5-minute venture yet on his part. So if we could just kind of stretch it, if we can get to other departments, if you have reports, I mean, feel free to fill in the 5 minutes.
Elected officials and department head reports. Clerk?
Brock Gildner, your Ogemaw County Clerk. This past week, I met with the Election Commission, Judge Williams and I. We proofed all of the ballots and sent them in for order, and we will have our ballots next week, most likely. So the deadline for the township clerks to get them to the absentee voters is March 2nd. We should have them well ahead of that. So if anybody asks you any questions about when they should start to see their absentee ballots, March 22nd is when they can start handing them out. That's really it. Oh, one more thing I do want to say, because I have had 2 people in the last 3 days ask me if they could still put something on the May ballot. I'm anticipating there being an August election. The deadline to file, May 13th. So if any of your townships are thinking that they want to get on, May 13th.
That's for August.
August.
Okay.
Yep,
Thank you.
yep.
Anything, pardon me?
Question,
Go ahead.
who's paying for an August election?
Well, it depends who gets on it.
Okay. Well, if a township wants it,
The
they
township,
pay for that township?
yep.
And all that's on the, oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, I did talk to Tim today and we are getting a legal opinion on probably what you're talking about.
What I'm talking about?
Probably.
Oh, okay.
The May election, we just seen the school on there?
The
In what
school,
township?
Hill Township has a fire,
Okay,
and then Cumming Township is a road. And then Richland Township don't have West Branch Rose City in their jurisdiction, so they don't have any election. Everybody else does, every other township. And then the Mentor Township from Oscoda County, they have 31 voters that are in West Branch Rose City School District, so we're consolidating again. And they're going to vote in Rose City. There's two townships in Gladwin County that last year we did consolidate. This year we're not consolidating, they're doing everything themselves.
Oh,
So it's West Branch Rose City School, right?
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions for Sheriff?
Okay.
Under Sheriff? Jeff? On the phone? Thumbs up, that means you're good? Okay, matters from the floor. Any commissioners?
no,
Motions for adoption?
no.
Commissioners report. Commissioner Wiltie.
So last night we had the open house, finally was here. It was a great success. We don't have the exact final number, but I think it was right around 60 people. And a number of speakers and, it really, it seemed like it was a really good success. I said they had some family emergency come up. I wasn't able to be there, but all in all, it was very well attended. I know there's been a lot of questions already regarding some of the information that was received last night. So again, hopefully that is the kickstart that we needed to really get some things moving here in Ogemaw County and get some homes built, which is very well needed. This past Tuesday night, we had our MTA meeting. Commissioner Serbrook and Commissioner Scott were there with me. It was a really good meeting. It was at Edwards Township. I really appreciate Edwards Township. They do a great job. Food was fantastic. Thank you to Township for that. We had a speaker, Brian Klein. He's the teacher of the building trades at the Ogemaw Heights High School. He's also the quarterback for the co-op. I guess the co-op was gone for a while. Now it's coming back. They use an example of a girl that was co-oping actually at Edwards Township. And she was there and she spoke on her experiences with it. And I think co-op's a great option for our kids. So it's really good to see that Ogemaw Heights has a co-op program. And then Rich Castle also spoke. Rich Castle from Consumers Energy, and then he also spoke on behalf of the Ogemaw County EDC. So there was some really good beneficial information there. Believe it or not, that's all I had tonight.
Commissioner Scott.
Oh, Commissioner Serbrook and I Monday went to the health department meeting over in Hale. That was interesting. Tuesday was MTA. I'm thinking there was something else too on Tuesday. Oh, a doctor's appointment. Wednesday was the road commission, and they are rewriting some job descriptions there. They honored Luke Wilkins, 25 years of service there, and he is retiring and moving out of state, and and then weight restrictions came up at that point in time. They didn't have a date yet, but I heard today that it'll be Monday, the 3rd. So other counties are coming on right around us too. Well, Wednesday morning, last night, in some place,
It's claims.
I did claims, yeah, I did claims with Mark, that was Tuesday.
We had a guest.
Yeah, yeah, I get the opportunity to have coffee in the morning with Ron Taylor, retired state trooper, and his son Colin have had many questions for me about county and operations and finances. So I invited them along to the claims. I said, all public information, you can come and see, and I'll show you what we spend our money on. at least one cycle, you know? So, I think that opened his eyes up to some things and, you know, it's that big box of claims that are there, you know?
So he's showing an interest.
Yeah.
His dad's in the local,
His
Township,
dad
right?
was township supervisor, but no longer.
but
But he's an airline pilot for United. So he's like, works out of town.
he'll be back someday.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, can't even think what last week was.
Put it airport.
I missed the airport. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't there. So Mark gets to talk about that. So I think that's what it was.
Commissioner Mayhew.
I went to West France, told you before, they're talking about making their cemetery seasonal. Because plowing around them headstones in the winter can be not much fun. It's hilly and so they're voted on making that seasonal. Went to Clacking, they're working on their budget. I went to Woodar and they got a new carrier for their insurance. Trying to cut back on some money there. Like I said, the main of them, everybody's working on their budget.
Yep.
So that's it.
Chairman,
Go ahead.
last night I did go to the
Housing.
Yeah, I did go to the housing, so it was well attended. Yeah, I knew there was something I did yesterday.
Commissioner Serbrook.
Oh, as I attended airport and we had our audit presentation. And I'm very happy to say that the airport had a fund balance of $158,000. So the auditor was very happy with that. That amounts to, I believe it was just less than a quarter of their total budget for the year. So we said financially, the airport is in stable condition, very good. It was, I forget what the terminology, where they don't, it was the opinion thing. Their opinion is, Breck, help me out. What's the terminology there for the best you can get in an audit report? That the auditors always say when they issue their opinion. Unqualified, thank you.
Yeah, qualified.
Yes, which then they didn't consult any outside CPAs or anything. So anyway, airport's financially in good shape. As Commissioner Wiltse stated, we're both at Transit. Commissioner Scott stated District Health. I had Well Advanced Community Mental Health. We are down to out of 12 members right now. We're only a 9-member board, so that's why it's important to get these people assigned to the board. Board's in transition. We're going to be Diane Peltz, who's the current CEO, is going to be retiring in August. So there's a lot of things going on. The biggest issues with not only community mental health, but also the health department is just the unknowns with Medicaid, because they rely so much on Medicaid funding and the whole thing with the federal government going on now with these terminations and freezes of programs. Frankly, they don't know what's going to happen, So, and as we all know, public health, whether it be mental health or physical health, is so important, and so much of the population relies upon that. So we need to take and keep a close eye on that. I attended the MTA meeting, and I must say, Commissioner Wiltse did an outstanding job in the absence of a representative from EMS as well as Transit. He told everybody what was going on with both of those, as he sits on both of those. So he filled in while those folks weren't able to give a report. So that was fantastic. And then claims, Commissioner Scott and I did claims, and I happened to be here at the same time Commissioner Scott was. So we were able to go over with Mr. Taylor what was going on. And then we had a really good, after we went through claims, I think we spent probably 15, 20 minutes, Craig, talking about how things are, and just a whole bunch of, we were able to, I think, give him a good education as to how things operate and stuff. So I thought it was real good. It'd be nice if some other public people would come in just to see what we do and how we do it. You know, cause I think probably 98% of the people in Ogemaw County really don't realize what a county commissioner does. They may know who we are, but it's like, and I've been approached, well, what do you guys do? And people that I would think that know what we're doing, you know. And the other thing this afternoon, well, we started with the mediation with one of the bargain units, and we're gonna get into that later on, but we spent 4.5 hours here today on that, so. And that concludes my report, Madam Chair.
I had a zoning meeting last night that lasted about 2.5 hours. We approved 2 towers, cell towers that one is going in up by Shady Shores. It is going to be a T-Mobile cell tower. And then there's one going up near Clear Lake, and that is going to be a Verizon cell tower. Also, the state is mandating an ordinance. Each county has to have an ordinance on battery storage. So we got a rough draft of that last night. That's all related to the wind energy. So there's gonna be more information to come on that. We also had an individual there last night, looking at possibly putting a mobile home sales lot along 33. I think we talked a little bit about solar energy, not a lot. It was a pretty lengthy meeting. 911 meeting I had as well. They have 2 fire departments that they're trying to encourage to update some of their equipment radios. So they all have standardized equipment to make communication a bit easier. Unfortunately, there is a cost there, and not all the fire departments have some excess money. So Jesse is working on that. Also, she had a meeting with the local healthcare facilities related to transport and dispatch. The local hospitals have taken over their own dispatch for transport for patients being transported to outlying facilities. So that takes some work off their shoulders as well. They have 2 individuals in training right now. Sounds like they are doing quite well. As far as from a budget standpoint, 911 is doing quite well as well. I also had my Michigan Works meeting. They did their audit report. They have an amazing staff over there. They find funding. They do lots of grants. The funding that they somehow receive, it's extraordinary. So if my meetings are on Fridays, it's the last Friday of the month. If any of you guys are always open to the public, just to see what all the services that they offer and that they provide. Any individuals looking for any type of help, I direct to Michigan Works. There's one more thing.
Is that meeting?
It's the last Friday of the month at 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
Or excuse me, 10 a.m. Jeez.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, there is no new business because we covered so much last meeting. They're pretty good because it's the outlying commissioners. One comes as far as Claire. There is no meeting tomorrow. It'll start again. Typically one month out of the year, they find where there's not a lot of business that it can hold off until the next one. So, I think that's it for me. Thought I had something else. All of my meetings start again next week, all the township meetings, so. General public comment.
Commissioner David,
Oh, yes,
I have a question for Commissioner Mayhew.
go ahead.
And I'm asking this not to cause any problems, because I understand that we all have, again, different opinions on things. I understand we've got a lot of big things we're working on this county, and I think the direction we're heading is the right direction, and I want to work with you guys. But I'm just asking, when you were at Goodart Township the other night, they were supposed to have the resolution for Bass Lake Road right away. Did they have that?
Yes, they did.
Did they give that to you by chance, or?
Nope, they wanted your number. I didn't have it, but they was gonna give it to you. I said, okay. I told them I'm here Thursdays, but they wanted to give it to you. So yeah, it was there.
So the resolution for the support for Bass Lake Road right away from Goodart Township was there Tuesday. Okay, thank you.
Any general public comment in the room? Go ahead, sir.
So you're talking about the medical examiner's contract. I mean, to me, it seems kind of logical. You'd want someone that's closer rather than on the west side of the state to serve as medical examiner, right? That's what you're bidding out for.
You should,
You need,
I apologize. You should come on up here. I gotta time you too. I made that a little informal. Don't be, yeah, I apologize for that. That's on me. That's on me. Go ahead, sir. You have 3 minutes.
Notes. I just was listening about your, bidding out for medical examiner, and to me, it seems kind of common sense. You'd want someone closer to, fulfill your contract as opposed to someone from West Michigan. You know, because I don't know what the procedure is, but if you have dead bodies laying around, you wanna, well, that's what a medical examiner does, correct? You
Oh, yeah,
want them closer to,
I didn't say anything.
to fulfill their job obligations. I don't know whether they have people stationed or they subcontract it, but just to me, it seems like more logically, you'd want someone closer.
Thank you. And introducing yourself, you are,
Churchill Township Supervisor.
I said Selker, but I know what I meant. Churchill, yes. Thank you for your comment. And it's nice to see you. Any other public comment? Any public comment on the phone?
What happened?
No public comment on the phone? Item 17, Commissioner Serbrook.
I would make a motion that we go into closed session connected with negotiation with collective and bargaining agreement under MCL 15.268C.
Support.
Motion Commissioner Serbrook, motion by Commissioner Serbrook, support from Commissioner Scott. Any further discussion? Roll call vote?
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Jenny David,
Yes.
Roger Mayhew,
Yes.
Charles Wiltie.
Yes.
And there may or may not be business afterwards, correct? Correct. Okay. We have a motion to go into closed session. Tom?
Turn them off.
We're at, motion to go back into open session.
I'll make a motion to go back into open session.
Support.
Motion from Commissioner Scott, support from Commissioner Wiltie. Roll call vote?
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Jenny David.
Yes.
Roger Mayhew.
Yes.
Charles Wiltie.
Yes.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Commissioner Serbrook.
I would move to ratify the successor collective bargaining agreement with the POLC Road Patrol Deputies Unit with the changes set forth in the February 27th, 2025 total tentative agreement that has been ratified by the bargaining unit and authorize the board chair to sign the successor collective bargaining agreement upon approval as to form by the county's legal counsel.
Second.
We have a motion with support. Further discussion? Roll call vote?
Jenny David.
Yes.
Roger Mayhew.
Yes.
Charles Wiltie.
Yes.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Craig Scott.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn?
Yes.
To adjourn.
Support? All in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. 7:30. You need Elvis
Thank you,
back?
Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.